Hello and welcome to Brown Boy, White Wife. I'm Brown Boy.
I'm White Wife.
And we're coming to an end of our Kalki
Era.
journey.
Okay.
Our Kalki Yug.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
Thank you. You've all been commenting and liking and subscribing, which we're very grateful for. We specifically want to shout out
Sanjay Sharma 3366
for suggesting that we watch this video. Your suggestions means a lot, so write them down in the comments, and if we watch the thing, we will try and shout you out.
Yeah, we've got like a running list of different movies and trailers and music stuffs that we want to take a look at.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
How the first chapter of our world is going to look like.
That's the director, by the way.
In India, we've grown up the epics,
That banyan
especially
tree.
Mahabharata and
I
Ramayana.
think so. It's a pretty place
Another
to shoot
age
this.
to go, and that
Yeah.
age is the final battle.
I think it's probably the set of the movie.
In India, we've
Okay.
grown up with so much of the epics,
That's a
especially
real
Mahabharata
tree,
and
though.
Ramayana, being part of our culture and everyday life. Like, especially not just religious, but just like even just stories that we tell our kids. And so, you know, when you grow up and you're watching a lot of, I guess, foreign films which are in the either comic book space or Marvel or Spider-Man or Star Wars or any of those things, you always wonder, like, where are our superheroes? Because they are as heroic and they are as larger than life as
Arguably
anybody
more
else.
so,
Yeah.
I think I
honestly.
heard.
And they came before any of this,
slowly
right? Like,
Way
people
before.
across
Yeah.
India were more interested, or
I
they
think
were
that
starting
Western
to think about
superheroes are
making
inspired by
movies
these
like
myths.
this. And I heard
absolutely,
some
like
talk about
Superman,
somebody
like
talking
they're
about
all they're like
movies
these
and some
gods
studio
that
trying
they
to
talk
think about it, and I
about.
was like, okay, now it's time
Exactly.
for us to. And the world of Kalki is something that we are saying is almost like a sequel to the last
It's really
epic
beautiful,
that
like-
we
Yeah,
have of
it's
these
super cool.
characters of the previous yuga. So the previous yuga in India, in Indian culture, we have 4 yugas, right? So each yuga has a sort of.
He's a very soft-spoken guy, you know, for like somebody who's making this huge action epic. Like he seems very like kind of modest and humble, like when he's talking.
The balance.
Super
And,
chill.
Yeah, I
The
like it.
last great epic that we have is the Mahabharata, where it was like a huge war with, the
It's
most
Krishna and
powerful and the
Ajnu?
most
Yeah, I think so.
epic kings, and they fight in this dramatic
Good job.
battle, and they are, one side is protected by an avatar, a god figure, which is Krishna. Final epic was the last story that we know, and all of our greatest characters from there have an ending, or some of them have an open ending, or we know that this is where this story ended, but we still have another age to go, and that age is the final battle. That age is where
The Kali
the
Yuga.
end essentially has to begin, and everything has to come to a climax. Like
I
all
love
of the
that instead
stories,
of
all
being
of
like,
these
let's make a
line-up
movie
of all
about
of
the
these
Mahabharata,
Kauravas,
they were
all of
like,
these
let's continue this
battles,
story
which
and
is
like
small
use
and
our
big, that happened
imagination and come up
since
with
the
something
creation
new
of time has
using our
been
history.
So we try
Yeah,
to see if
I
we
think
could
that's
attempt
really
to write
cool.
that.
Right.
What's the next
And,
step?
What's the next
that's how
step?
we started.
And
that's
such an
where the
interesting
last
kind of
story
canvas
of
that's
our
already in
mythology
place.
sort of ends.
Yeah.
And now we are
I mean, the scale of this thing looks massive.
Yeah.
We don't really have a story of this era or of this yuga because it's still happening, obviously.
Wow.
And I
That
just
set
thought it
design's
was a
really
very
cool.
Yeah.
interesting idea. If we start writing a sequel to the Mahabharata, what would happen? Because it ended there, and Kali continues
sequel.
from Dwapar Yuga, and he has to come into the Kali Yuga. So now, if he comes in, now our heroes have to come in as well. And how is this epic going to be? How are we going to write this? And I wanted to write it in a way that it's today, and it's for the whole world to be part of it now, because it's not just because it was never, I think, ever just one country. It's always the world. So I thought we'll write it in that sensibility, and
Sure.
hence
The whole
5
world.
years later,
Well,
we are
America, we're starting to get the whole world
we get to
involved.
share with you how the first chapter of our world is going to look like.
First chapter, so there's gonna be more,
Okay.
probably like a trilogy or something in mind, right?
That makes sense.
I mean, the story's huge.
Yeah, you wouldn't like create this world and these
Yeah.
set pieces and work with these characters to just stop at one.
You're not going to be like, I'm going to do a sequel to the Mahabharata and it'll all wrap up in 3 hours.
Easy
Not going to
peasy.
happen.
No.
Well, that was very informative, I think. What did you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I always like seeing a bit of the behind the scenes stuff, like
Yeah.
who made this, why they made this. It really tends to give a piece of art more depth for me.
And like especially kind of hearing him specifically talk about it feels like it's something that he's very invested in and he loves, and you can tell this like from him, like it comes from him, right?
Yeah.
And there's something really beautiful about kind of hearing a director kind of speak about something that they're passionate about.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's another episode of this with him telling us more, I think, about the world of Kalki.
Great.
So
Okay,
we're
I'm
going
here
to
for
react to that. Stay tuned. That's going to be another video. Like, subscribe, and everything else as always. And also stick around for our review of the movie that should come soon.
Coming soon, indeed. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Yay.